When you set out for adventure, you are embarking into the unknown. The space where anything can be possible. The good, the bad,
Something has hit our solar panel and shattered the entire thing.
or some mixture of both.
Oh, bonding.
We're Brad and Shyla. Join us on our 10,000-mile road trip from Baja to Alaska. Welcome to Trippin'. Should we try out the new kayak?
I think so.
Okay, let's do it.
This is our kayak. Blow this thing up for the first time and see how it does. Much better. Had to get changed real quick. It's getting pretty warm out here. This is our new inflatable kayak that we got specifically for this trip. It's at Intex K2. These are the seats that just need to go in, but pretty excited to take it out there today. So we're gonna be making some bread today. I've got a sponge ready to go. For the sponge, we're gonna do 350 grams of water. I'm gonna do 1 gram of yeast. There's sponge all mixed. We'll just cap that and wait for that to bubble up. We're gonna do a little rye because Shyla likes rye. Maybe 150 grams of that. Do some organic bread flour. About 350 grams of that. And I have 300 grams of flour in here. So if the total is going to be 1,000 grams, I need to come up with 200 more grams of flour for this. So actually we're going to do kernza. So we're going to do 200 grams of that. So we're going to do 400 to 450 grams. So this is called an autolyse. It's just the flour and water. Basically helps start saturating all the proteins. Just makes it easier to digest down the road. So that's what it looks like so when it's all done. So we'll let that hang out. It starts to break down the proteins anywhere between 10, really, as long as you want it to go. I've autolyzed for 24 hours, I believe, is the longest I've done it. But you can go longer if you'd like. From there, I'm just gonna dump the sponge in. Get it all ready for when I'm ready to mix. And this doesn't affect the autolyse at all. We'll let that hang out for 20 minutes or so. Got a little life jacket. Can be saved at a moment's notice. Shyla's gonna test out our 2-person kayak.
Should I sit in the back or the front?
Well, you're committed. You're committed now.
Yeah. I am here kayaking on this beautiful lake. I can't believe we are on an island and this lake is this huge. It is crazy. It definitely, Vancouver Island is huge and doesn't feel like an island. I've got my co-pilot Cannoli today. Cannoli. Cannoli. I think he's mad at me. He hates the water, but I wanted to try out his new life jacket. So we're just enjoying this. We just got this kayak and I am testing it out. So far, so good, I'd say. Good boy. Good boy, Knowles. Always living the dream.
It's been a few minutes. It's way out the east and the salt. We're going to do 3 grams of yeast. Pull that over top. 23 grams of kosher salt. Now we're just going to get in there by hand and mix it up. Pause it for now. This is going to take a few minutes to do. So we're just going to let this rest for probably an hour or so.
Got cannoli right here. How's it going, cannolis? Seems pretty peaceful. I'm just filming. The fact that we woke up this morning, took a few steps out of our van and into our kayak, and now are on the lake. This is incredible. I truly am so thankful that we are able to do this, and we couldn't have done it without doing van life. This is wild. I always wanted a house with a lake view. Got it. Brad, do you know what lake we are on?
Lake Cowichan or Kayaking or something like that.
Oh, wow, we're really going now.
This is so peaceful. We wanted to get a paddleboard, but they're pretty expensive. And even the 2-person paddleboard takes up so much space in the van. I don't know if this takes up much less space, but I think it takes up a little less space. We have the space for it, so.
And I think this would have been more comfortable for 2 people rather than a 2-person paddleboard.
True.
I liked the fact that we could have gear in here or like a backpack if we want to do a picnic or something. It's so quiet. Brad and I found this spot on the internet. This is a campground we are staying at. Beautiful. We were not sure if we had to pay for it. When we got here, there was a sign that just said check in with the host, and no one was there, and no one came to check on us last night. So today it's about midday. Finally someone came and collected the money. Pretty affordable. I'd say it was $24 Canadian, which is a little less than the United States.
It's like 20 bucks US, something like that.
We were pretty hesitant, but there's not a lot of spots to stay here just wild camping on the island, so you kind of have to either just stay in a pullout beside the road, or you can pay for a campground. Luckily, they're not as expensive as the campgrounds in the US, but with these views, I couldn't say no. And access to the lake.
Yeah, we had to try out the new kayak before we get too deep. We don't want to tote the thing around if it's not going to work for us. So this worked out really well. We didn't plan to pay for a campsite. It just so happened that we rolled up on a spot that was supposed to be free, and it wasn't free, which is fine. You know, if we use the facilities, we don't mind paying for it. But we're hoping that we don't have to do too many more campsites. We're hoping that we can find some public land. And I think you can. I think you just got to get really crafty with it and just, you know, do some driving to find the spot you're looking for. Still having a good time. And this is honestly what I thought that Alaska would look like. I mean, we're not in Alaska, but I just pictured lakes and sprawling forests, and oh, it's so pretty up here. The bugs, though.
They come out in the evening.
They come out in the evening. Our bug screens are probably my new favorite thing that we've gotten for the van, other than the tires, of course. I don't know, there's a lot of things we've gotten for the van recently that have really made our stay in the van so much more comfortable. But the bug screens, it was so nice to stay up late last night and just keep the door open and just enjoy ourselves while keeping the bugs out. Should we go toot around some more on this lake?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it. So the kayaking was a success, but once we got to the middle of the lake, the camp host came over to tell us that this spot is reserved for tonight, so we actually have to move. So we're either going to move right over here on that shore, or we're trying to decide if we want to stay here or just move it along. It's a very beautiful spot, but just not sure what to do. So I'm going to go ahead and deflate the kayak, and we're going to pack up the van, and then we're going to go over and see what sites are available. If there's anything next to the water, we'll take that, and if not, we might just drive on today. We'll see. It's about midday, so we got time either way.
So we had to move camp spots for the night, but no worries. Luckily, the spot is just as beautiful. So let's go ahead and set up our camp. And just like that, camp set up.
See what happens if we just let it sit for a little while. All that's gluten. Now we're just folding it. Now we're stretching that gluten. It'll relax some more, and we'll come back and fold it. 30 minutes. So we just got some firewood. Let's go pick it up. Just like my childhood. Okay, so we're going to do the second fold. It's been about 45 minutes. And you can see as the gluten starts to develop, it starts to stick less and less to your hands, which is really nice. Come back another 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes. Alright, let's check her out for the third fold. She's looking good. She's coming together. We're making gluten. Good looking dough. Got a lot of flowers in there. Feel it getting tighter. Alright, we'll let it hang out for a little bit longer and then we'll see where we're at. Looks pretty good. We're gonna start shaping it. To, I don't know, 750 gram pieces. So we'll take these, we're just tucking the dough under and inside of itself. Make a nice skin. Just close up that seam on the bottom. Take these. We're just tucking the dough under and inside of itself. Make a nice skin. Just close up that seam on the bottom. There's our dough ball. We're going to let that rest right there. Do the next one. Those will go in the fridge and we'll bake those off in the morning. These look like they're about ready, so we're going to go ahead and bake them. It'll be a big hearty loaf, but that'll be good. Maybe this one got a little too big, but that's okay. Just has to taste good, right? Looking pretty good. It's got a nice crust. smells delicious.
There's no better way, in my opinion, to start off a day than to have fresh bread, warm, toasted, with butter and salt. Thank you to Brad. Cheers.
You're welcome. Cheers.
Bread's good. So, this morning we are leaving Heather Campground, where we've been for the last 2 nights. We're leaving there to go to Port Alberni. I believe it's like northwest of Heather Campground. We'll be on this long, dirt, dusty road for probably another hour. Yeah, I'm gonna finish this bread, finish this drive, get to town, get some gas, and then figure out what we're doing from there.
We also got to see a little black bear cub, which was really cool. It started crossing the road right as we were driving up to it, and we didn't stop because we don't want to get attacked by the mama bear, who's probably right behind the bush somewhere. So that was cool. It was cool to get to see our first bear, and it being a little cub, about the size of a dog.
Yeah, that was crazy.